Namaskar, Pranam, Johar. This is end of the year 2025 and we are preparing for a new year 2026 to dawn. I would say a very bad year in 2025. We have been kind of pushed around and shoved around and misbehaved with in the international stage. For example, the way the US levied tariff on India. The US is a large country, but think about it that even a minor country like Mexico dared to put a 50% tariff on India, although the trade with Mexico is very minimal. And if we think that by building bridges with African countries and lesser important nations across the world, we can thrive and we can build an economy that would be powerful and we can actually call ourselves global country, and I want to write an edit on this, I think that is a very wrong notion. It seems to me that currently India is kind of floating without a rudder. Our foreign policy is adrift, our monetary policy is adrift, for which 2025 saw probably the largest fall ever in the value of the Indian rupee. So the idea that is being mooted is the dollar is becoming more powerful and the rupee is not loosening its grip. That is a wrong notion, because if people who import things from abroad, they would all realize that the dollar has more or less stayed at a static level. Maybe it has gained a little bit, but the rupee has lost its credibility, has lost its strength incredibly much, for which today all of us, whether we realize it or not, all of us are affected in our daily lives because things are getting more and more expensive. Now, let us say tariff by the US levied on India. One of the most outstanding or singular points that was repeated over and over again is because India imported oil from the Russian shores. Maybe we imported, and they said that India will always want cheap fuel for its economy. That's a very good slogan. Everybody likes that. Nobody wants to pay more for the same commodities. And India as a nation wanting lower cost fuel for its economy is also a very welcome thing. But my question in this edit that I want to write is, where has the benefit gone if we have actually got petroleum for a lower cost from Russia than what we would have got from the Middle East? Then where has that bracket, that money which India benefited, has it been passed on to the consumer? Has it been passed on to, say, the defense services or to government or even to private individuals? Had it been passed on to private individuals, today a situation would have arisen where individuals would have had some more savings than what they have today. So it seems like that money has not been passed on to the Indians. India has benefited, but then India here refers to a few, countable maybe on the fingers, one or two companies which have benefited massively due to this price difference. Our prices, our retail prices did not go down. Similarly, a monopoly like we saw in the Indigo situation, imbroglio some time back, some weeks back, that also happened because we allowed one single airline to corner more than 60% of domestic air travel. So by encouraging this kind of crony capitalism and not allowing growth of competition, we are also seeing that at least in air travel, we saw how many companies collapsed. Did we ever realize, has the government ever thought that why are so many airline companies collapsing? Shall we keep the jet fuel cost in a limited bracket? Shall we make it in such a way that the passenger gets the benefit of lower cost air travel, but the shock is taken not by the government but also to a great extent by the companies whose margin of profit may lessen, but the taxpayer is not charged or not with the burden of subsidizing air travel. We do not plan like that. Therefore, we have given away our ports, our airports and everything to another one company. If that company should fail for any reason tomorrow, then tomorrow or a year later or 2 years later, then the whole country gets impaired, gets crippled. The coming year in 2026, we have to think, how do we position ourselves in foreign policy, in foreign relations, and also in our monetary policies, that the rupee strengthens, it gets a fair standing in the global market, and we are also perceived as a nation with some kind of credibility. I have felt one thing. We have always, for the past decade or so, we have been showing off. The Indian diaspora is always out in other countries to welcome our VVIPs. But by exposing that diaspora over and over and over again, one point is we are using our embassies and consulates exclusively to mobilizing the diaspora. Secondly, the diaspora, by getting exposed so often, what is happening is there is anger all across the world against Indians today, which is a very worrisome fact, and everybody has to think or rethink, and the government also has to frame a policy that we do not expose our diaspora, we do not have to get them isolated. Similarly, we have to also plan how we position ourselves in the market in the coming year and in the coming years so that we are respected as a nation. Today, China cannot be bullied by the US primarily because China controls rare earth. Rare earth is essential for artificial intelligence, the growth of artificial intelligence. It is the base on which artificial intelligence is built, and everything that operates on for artificial intelligence, including the chips that a tiny little nation, island nation like Taiwan alone is making, that also, if you take the whole circuitous route, you will find that rare earth and again China crops up again and again in that whole process. Can India place itself in that circuit or not? India can, because reports say China has the largest deposit of rare earth, followed by Brazil, and India third largest deposit of rare earth. If that be the truth, and if that is the case, then India has an amazing trajectory that it can create for itself in using this rare earth deposit for the growth of artificial intelligence in the future. So we have many such options that we can utilize. And I'll mention that in my editorial. I read recently that a parliamentary committee has urged the government to invest more in IREL, Indian Rare Earth Limited, a government company. But what is the intention? Is it to spend taxpayers' money, invest more in rare earth and find the deposits and process it, and then again hand it over to a single company, a single industrialist? Or is it that in rare earth we will consciously as a nation allow competition, allow other companies, allow multiple players to come in so that we get the best out of it, which the benefit of which should be transferred to the people of this country? These are choices we have to make. I am giving one example of rare earth because I see AI as the next big leap in the next decade for humanity. And for AI to make that leap, rare earth is the backbone, the spinal cord. So therefore, since we have the second largest deposit, are we willing to fritter this away also by giving it to one industrialist? And if you check the parliamentary committee report, it is very dicey in the sense that what exactly is the committee suggesting? That has not been clearly spelled out. So instead of being ambiguous, can we be focused? Can we as a nation, and if our government is so willing, can we do something by which we can recreate our policy, we can reconstruct our policies in such a way that tomorrow India will be known globally as a country that has rare earth deposits, that is exporting rare earths in such a manner that the nation, the whole country benefits. It is time that we rise from the morass of poverty, and I always believed that poverty eradication is not only giving just a food or a small little single room house to people, but level of living standard, a lifestyle that every average Indian must enjoy, not just the rich and the creamy layer, but every Indian has to benefit from that. If we can replan, if we can refurbish our policies to make this happen, where we can benefit from, say, rare earth and the growth of artificial intelligence. I'm sure there are other things also, many other things that I am not aware of. I would like you to please suggest to me in the comment section below what else you think the country could focus on, which I would like to write in my edits, but I would like that to come on the map of the country, that we can do things whereby we can build this nation back again from its impaired or its damaged reputation as a backward and badly governed country into a modernistic and a future looking country. So I would request you to give me your suggestions, and this is the subject I want to deal in my edit to come. And I take this opportunity to all of you that I pray and I hope that 2026 would be a wonderful year of happiness and great health for all of my viewers. Thank you.